Hello there. Have you ever noticed how some people always seem to be in the right place at the right time, while others just can't catch a break? Is it really luck, or something we can control? In his fascinating book, The Luck Factor, psychologist Richard Wiseman spent years studying the lives of people who considered themselves lucky or unlucky, and he discovered something powerful. Luck isn't random at all. It's a set of habits and attitudes you can learn. This summary is about the 4 principles that can turn your life into a magnet for opportunities in your career, relationships, and everyday experiences. So if you're ready to create your own good fortune, stick around. And before we start in, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss more life-changing ideas like this. Chapter 1: The Science of Luck. The first chapter begins by asking whether luck is truly random or if there's a pattern behind why some people always seem to be in the right place at the right time. To investigate this, the author launched an unusual study. He brought together hundreds of people who considered themselves either very lucky or very unlucky. Through detailed questionnaires, interviews, and experiments, he discovered that luck is not about fate but about psychology. Lucky people share 4 broad principles. They create and notice chance opportunities, listen to their intuition, expect good fortune, and turn bad luck into positive outcomes. This chapter sets the stage by showing that these principles are not abstract ideas but consistent habits that distinguish one group from the other. One striking example is how lucky people are naturally more relaxed and open-minded. In one experiment, participants were asked to look through a newspaper and count the number of photographs inside. Unlucky participants often missed a large message printed across the page saying, "Stop counting. There are 43 photographs." Lucky participants, being more open and less tense, noticed it right away. This shows how anxiety and narrow focus can literally blind people to opportunities, while calm curiosity allows others to spot chances with ease. The chapter also highlights how lucky people reframe misfortune. Instead of brooding over setbacks, they quickly search for silver linings, learning, or new directions. Over time, this optimistic interpretation fuels more resilience and success, which outsiders mistakenly label as luck. The overarching lesson from Chapter 1 is that luck isn't a mystical gift but a lifestyle. By consciously cultivating openness, optimism, and resilience, anyone can shift their experiences toward being lucky. The rest of the book promises to break down each of these 4 principles into practical strategies, but this chapter already makes a compelling case. Luck is learnable. 2 key takeaways from Chapter 1. Luck is not random. It follows clear psychological patterns of perception, attitude, and behavior. Being open, relaxed, and resilient allows you to notice and create opportunities that others miss. Chapter 2: The Luck Factor. Principle 1: Maximize your chance opportunities. This chapter introduces the first major principle. Lucky people are skilled at creating, noticing, and acting upon chance opportunities. Instead of passively waiting for good fortune, they actively build networks, maintain open and relaxed attitudes, and embrace new experiences. Studies revealed that lucky individuals tend to have wider social circles and a friendlier approach, which means they encounter more possibilities through people. Their openness also makes them more observant. They literally see and seize opportunities others overlook. The author illustrates this with experiments such as the newspaper test, where unlucky people missed obvious clues because they were too focused and anxious, while lucky people spotted them quickly. He also notes that lucky individuals often embrace spontaneity. They are more willing to try something different, travel a new route, or engage in conversation with strangers. This flexibility increases the number of doors they walk through, multiplying their odds of stumbling upon favorable outcomes. In contrast, unlucky people tend to stick rigidly to routines, limit their networks, and miss opportunities simply because they never give them space to appear. The central lesson is that luck favors those who create a fertile ground for it. By being sociable, curious, and open to change, you expand your luck surface area. Opportunities rarely announce themselves loudly. They slip into view quietly, and only those alert enough to notice them can benefit. Key takeaways. Lucky people create and notice more opportunities by being open, relaxed, and socially connected. Expanding your experiences, embracing flexibility, and meeting new people dramatically increases your chances of Being lucky. Chapter 3, Principle 1, maximize your chance opportunities. This chapter introduces the first principle of luck. Lucky people create, notice, and act upon chance opportunities. Their lives may look as though they are filled with coincidences, but these chances are actually the result of psychological habits: extroversion, openness, relaxation, and variety. To illustrate, the author shares the famous newspaper experiment. Volunteers were asked to count the number of photographs in a newspaper. The task seemed straightforward, but on the second page, in bold letters taking up half the page, was a message: "Stop counting. There are 43 photographs in this newspaper." Later, another page displayed a huge message: "Stop counting. Tell the experimenter you have seen this, and win £100. Yet almost everyone missed both signs. Why? They were too narrowly focused on counting pictures to notice opportunities staring them in the face. The point is clear. Unlucky people often fixate so tightly on tasks, worries, or goals that they fail to see unexpected possibilities. Lucky people, being more relaxed and open, are more likely to spot them. This chapter also introduces the coffee shop experiment. 2 participants, Martin, unlucky, and Brenda, lucky, were unknowingly filmed as they walked into a cafe. Along the way, a £5 note was planted on the pavement. Brenda spotted it and picked it up. Martin walked right past. Inside, both sat near a successful businessman planted by the researchers. Brenda struck up a conversation and built rapport, opening a door to a valuable connection. Martin sat quietly, spoke little, and left. Both had identical opportunities, but Brenda's sociable, relaxed nature made her capitalize on them. This chapter explains 3 sub-principles behind maximizing opportunities. Building a strong network of luck. Lucky people like Robert, an aircraft safety engineer, constantly bump into helpful contacts because they enjoy meeting people, chatting with strangers, and maintaining relationships. Their friendly body language makes them socially magnetic, attracting more opportunities. Developing a relaxed attitude. Anxiety narrows attention, while relaxation broadens it. Lucky people, more at ease, notice unexpected opportunities. Whether a hidden sign in a newspaper or money on the street. Being open to new experiences. Lucky people embrace variety and unpredictability, trying new foods, traveling without rigid plans, or saying yes to spontaneous events. This openness increases the probability of encountering something life-changing. In short, luck thrives where curiosity, social connection, and flexibility exist. People who rigidly cling to routines or anxiously over-focus on problems tend to miss opportunities right under their noses. Lucky people create their own good fortune by widening their social circles, staying relaxed, and welcoming the unexpected. Key takeaways. Opportunities are everywhere, but most people miss them because they are too anxious or narrowly focused. Lucky people spot them by being relaxed, sociable, and open. You can grow your luck surface area by expanding your network, embracing new experiences, and training yourself to notice the unexpected. Chapter 4, Principle 2, listen to your lucky hunches. The second principle of luck is that lucky people make successful decisions by listening to their intuition and gut feelings. While unlucky people often second-guess themselves or overanalyze, the lucky tend to act on subtle feelings and signals, which often guide them toward better outcomes. The chapter begins with stories of people who attributed major life successes to a hunch. Some spoke of walking into a job interview and just knowing the right moment to make a bold remark. Others recalled backing out of a deal at the last second, later discovering it would have been disastrous. Lucky people, it turns out, place more trust in these inner nudges, while unlucky people dismiss them. To test this, Wiseman ran experiments measuring how attuned people were to their intuition. One test involved showing participants random playing cards, some deliberately altered, like a red spade or black heart. Lucky people noticed the oddities quickly, while unlucky people struggled. This showed that lucky people's brains are more sensitive to subtle anomalies, giving them an edge in detecting when something isn't quite right. But intuition isn't just magic. The chapter explains that gut feelings are really your subconscious rapidly analyzing patterns based on past experiences. For example, an experienced firefighter may suddenly feel uneasy in a building, without knowing why, only later realizing signs of structural collapse were present. Lucky people respect these signals, treating them as valid input rather than ignoring them. Another striking finding was that lucky people often nurture their intuition. They actively clear space for it by practicing relaxation, meditation, or simply taking quiet walks. By contrast, unlucky people clutter their minds with worry and rigid logic, drowning out the subtle signals their subconscious tries to send. The more relaxed and open you are, the easier it is to hear your hunches. Key takeaways. Lucky people trust their intuition, which is the subconscious mind's way of signaling hidden knowledge or patterns. You can strengthen your intuition by staying relaxed, practicing mindfulness, and paying attention to subtle feelings instead of dismissing them. Chapter 5, Principle 3. Expect good fortune. The third principle of luck is that lucky people's expectations about the future often become self-fulfilling prophecies. They anticipate positive outcomes, which changes how they behave and, in turn, shapes their reality. Unlucky people, on the other hand, expect failure or misfortune, and those low expectations quietly sabotage their opportunities. Wiseman demonstrates this with studies on optimism and confidence. In one experiment, participants were asked to predict their future success in relationships, careers, and finances. Lucky people overwhelmingly expected things to go well, and follow-ups showed they were usually right. Their optimism fueled persistence, resilience, and friendliness, which created real advantages. For instance, someone who expects a conversation to go smoothly is more relaxed, warm, and engaging, making the other person respond positively, which confirms their expectation. The chapter also highlights the role of positive expectations in resilience. Lucky people don't crumble when faced with setbacks. They see difficulties as temporary roadblocks rather than permanent failures. An unlucky person who fails an exam may decide they're simply not intelligent, while a lucky person sees it as a signal to study differently next time. This positive reframe helps them bounce back stronger and seize future chances. Real-life stories illustrate this vividly. A woman who narrowly survived a horrific accident focused not on her injuries, but on her gratitude for being alive, and her optimism drew people toward her. Another man, who lost his job unexpectedly, treated it as an opportunity to reinvent himself and ended up building a successful new career. Their belief that something good will come changed how they acted and kept them open to unexpected possibilities. The psychological engine behind this principle is expectancy theory. What you expect influences your behavior, which in turn influences outcomes. Lucky people unconsciously generate positive spirals because their hopeful attitude motivates action, fosters resilience, and attracts cooperation from others. Key takeaways. Lucky people expect good fortune, and this optimism becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy by influencing how they think, behave, and interact with others. Viewing setbacks as temporary and focusing on potential positives keeps you resilient and open to future opportunities. Chapter 6, Principle 4. Turn bad luck into good. The fourth principle of luck is perhaps the most surprising. Lucky people are skilled at transforming misfortune into opportunities for growth or benefit. Where unlucky people see dead ends, lucky people find ways to bend setbacks into stepping stones. Wiseman describes this through a series of experiments and interviews. One test involved asking people to imagine narrowly avoiding a gunshot in a bank robbery that left them with an arm wound. Unlucky participants mostly said they'd feel devastated and cursed, focusing on their misfortune. Lucky participants, by contrast, said they'd feel grateful to be alive. Some even joked that things could have been worse if they'd been shot in the head. This difference in perspective highlights a critical mindset. Lucky people habitually compare their situation to something worse, which makes them feel fortunate, even in hardship. This chapter also explores how lucky people use bad events as springboards. For instance, a man who lost his job saw it as the push he needed to start his own business. A woman who missed her train ended up meeting her future husband because she took a later one. These stories emphasize that setbacks often contain hidden opportunities, but only if you remain open to them. Another vital strategy lucky people use is psychological resilience. Instead of spiraling into despair, they ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? They take active steps to prevent future problems and adapt quickly to new circumstances. By contrast, unlucky people tend to ruminate, blame themselves or others, and close down emotionally, which ensures the bad luck lingers. The chapter concludes that luck is not about avoiding difficulties altogether, but about mastering the art of bouncing back. Life inevitably delivers challenges, but those who reframe, adapt, and move forward turn potential disasters into blessings in disguise. 2 key takeaways. Lucky people reframe bad events by imagining how things could have been worse, which helps them feel fortunate even in hardship. They use setbacks as opportunities to grow, adapt, and create new paths, while unlucky people see them only as final failures. Chapter 7, The Luck Profile. After establishing the 4 principles of luck, this chapter introduces a practical tool. The luck profile, it's a way to measure how much of each principle you currently embody and where you can improve. Wiseman developed a questionnaire that asks about everyday habits, thought patterns, and attitudes, then scores people across the 4 dimensions: creating chance opportunities, trusting intuition, expecting good fortune, and turning bad luck into good. The chapter emphasizes that luck isn't fixed. It's a skill set you can strengthen. For example, if your profile shows you're weak in creating chance opportunities, you can deliberately work on meeting more people, varying your routines, or saying yes to new experiences. If your score is low in listening to intuition, you can practice mindfulness, keep a dream journal, or allow space for reflection. Similarly, if you struggle with expecting good fortune, you can reframe challenges with optimism and visualize positive outcomes. And if you're poor at turning bad luck into good, you can practice imagining worse alternatives or treating setbacks as feedback instead of failure. Wiseman shares stories of participants who improved their lives dramatically by working on their weakest areas. For instance, someone who was chronically unlucky in career matters realized he was too rigid in his routines. By deliberately shaking up his habits, trying new cafes, attending events, talking to strangers, he suddenly started encountering unexpected job leads and opportunities. The luck profile, therefore, acts as both a mirror and a roadmap. It shows you where you are and points you toward actions that can increase your luck. Ultimately, the chapter reinforces that luck is not mystical or random. It's measurable, understandable, and improvable. By taking the profile honestly and applying the principles, anyone can begin to shift their trajectory toward greater good fortune. 2 key takeaways. The luck profile helps you assess your strengths and weaknesses across the 4 principles of luck. Luck is not fixed. You can deliberately improve weaker areas through targeted habits and practices. Chapter 8, Luck School. Having identified the principles of luck, the author wanted to prove they could be taught. So he set up Luck School, a scientific experiment designed to train unlucky people to become luckier. Participants were introduced to practical techniques for each of the 4 principles and were asked to apply them over several weeks. For Principle 1, maximizing chance opportunities, students were encouraged to vary their routines, attend new social events, and deliberately talk to strangers. Many reported meeting people who later became friends, clients, or even romantic partners. For Principle 2, listening to lucky hunches, participants practiced relaxation and mindfulness to help them tune into intuition. Some started keeping journals to capture subtle feelings or recurring themes in dreams. For Principle 3, expecting good fortune, they used affirmations and positive visualization to boost optimism. And for Principle 4, turning bad luck into good, they rehearsed reframing exercises, imagining worse outcomes and searching for hidden benefits in disappointments. The results were remarkable. After just 1 month, 80% of participants reported feeling happier, more confident, and, most importantly, luckier. Their lives genuinely began to shift. Careers advanced, relationships improved, and small windfalls appeared. One man who had struggled with chronic failures suddenly found himself invited to new opportunities simply because he became more approachable and open. Another woman overcame her tendency to dwell on setbacks, which helped her bounce back quickly and spot new chances. The key lesson here is that luck isn't something you're born with. It can be taught, practiced, and strengthened like a muscle. Luck School showed that by deliberately applying the 4 principles, anyone can change their fortune. Key takeaways. Luck can be taught through simple exercises. It's a skill, not a gift. Deliberately practicing the 4 principles leads to measurable improvements in happiness, confidence, and opportunity. Chapter 9. Luck and Love. This chapter explores how the 4 principles of luck apply to one of the most important areas of life: relationships. Wiseman found that lucky people often enjoy happier, more stable love lives, not because fate favors them, but because their behaviors create the right conditions for love to flourish. For example, maximizing chance opportunities means they meet more potential partners. They attend social gatherings, speak to strangers, and pursue varied hobbies, increasing the odds of romantic encounters. Listening to intuition plays a role in choosing partners wisely. Many lucky people reported just knowing when they met someone who was right for them. Expecting good fortune makes them more optimistic about relationships, so they persevere during rough patches and bring positive energy into their partnerships. And turning bad luck into good helps them recover from heartbreak, learn lessons, and move on rather than becoming bitter or closed off. The chapter includes stories of people whose relationships blossomed through lucky breaks, chance meetings at airports, unplanned conversations at parties, or accidental introductions. But Wiseman stresses that these weren't just coincidences. They were opportunities noticed and acted upon. Conversely, unlucky people often isolated themselves, doubted their instincts, or let past pain close them off from future chances at love. The key message is that luck in love is not about destiny. It's about behaviors and mindset. By opening yourself to new experiences, trusting your instincts, expecting positive outcomes, and learning from setbacks, you dramatically increase your chances of finding and sustaining fulfilling relationships. Key takeaways. Lucky people create the conditions for love by being open, optimistic, and resilient in relationships. Luck is not fate. It's the result of behaviors that maximize encounters and build positive bonds. Chapter 10. The Luck Factor. Final thoughts. The final chapter brings everything together. Wiseman reflects on years of research and concludes that luck is not a mysterious force but a predictable result of psychology and behavior. Across thousands of participants, the same 4 principles held true: creating chance opportunities, listening to intuition, expecting good fortune, and turning bad luck into good. He emphasizes that anyone can cultivate these habits. By becoming more sociable and curious, you increase the number of doors that can open. By trusting your gut, you tap into your brain's subconscious wisdom. By expecting positive outcomes, you foster self-fulfilling prophecies that shape success. And by reframing setbacks, you transform apparent failures into valuable stepping stones. Together, these principles form a framework for living a luckier, happier life. The chapter also addresses skeptics. Wiseman acknowledges that random chance does play a role in life. Accidents, natural disasters, and sheer coincidences exist. But over the long run, people's mindsets and behaviors make a massive difference in how much good fortune they experience. The lucky aren't magically protected from misfortune. They simply navigate life in ways that consistently tilt the odds in their favor. The book closes with an empowering message. You don't need charms, rituals, or superstition to become luckier. Luck is within your control. By practicing the 4 principles daily, you can shift the course of your life toward greater happiness, opportunity, and success. Key takeaways. Luck is not random chance. It is created by behaviors and attitudes that anyone can adopt. Practicing the 4 principles consistently can transform not only your luck but your entire outlook on life. In conclusion, and that's the essence of the luck factor, luck isn't just about chance, it's about how you think, how you act, and how you respond to life. By creating opportunities, trusting your intuition, expecting the best, and turning setbacks into stepping stones, you can dramatically change the trajectory of your life. Remember, luck isn't something you wait for. It's something you create every single day. If this summary gave you new insights or made you rethink what luck really means, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll keep getting more summaries and ideas designed to help you grow, succeed, and live a happier life. Your journey to creating your own good fortune starts right now.